Hello everyone, this is Terry and this is Alison. We are the Sky Whisperers and this is our actually April 2026 monthly astrological insights recording. But to recap from the March, in March we have with the eclipse that we have finished the eclipse seasons for this part of the year, and also Mercury stationed direct. So until the beginning of May, until Pluto stations retrograde, all the sky is with direct planets and everything. So that's a relief for the moment. But what are the highlights of April for us, Alison?
Yeah, thank you, Terry. Well, I'm really excited that everything's finally direct and that potentially, things can actually move forwards in a positive way now. And Mercury will be coming out of its shadow period as well. So that's also great news. And we kick off the month with the planets in fire and water mainly, which is, fire is all about intuition and vision. Of course, Aries can be quite warlike as well, so we've still got that to contend with. Um, but the water is very much about feeling and compassion and feeling our way into things. But we have Venus in Taurus now, which is making us hopefully a little bit more sensible, a bit more grounded, and a little bit more aware of the material reality of what we're doing and the effects it's having on our planet too. So we move into April, and almost immediately on the second, we've got a new moon across Aries and Libra. So that's going to be looking at
Full moon,
relationship and
full moon.
alliances. Sorry?
That's a full moon. That's a full moon.
Oh yeah, it's still the full moon, which I have written down and sorry,
That's
Terry.
fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Anyway, yeah, the full moon, yeah, sorry, Aries and Libra. So the balance between what I want and what's good for the partnership, the community. And it's going to be about relationship and alliances and how you get what you want within those alliances, I think. And then on the 9th, we're going to have Mars moving into Aries, which will kick off as well the planets in Aries. So this is interesting because we're having for the first time a whole series of planets, the personal planets moving into Aries, where we had that Saturn Neptune conjunction back in February. So they're all going to be kind of sparking that. Mercury follows, and then on the 17th we have the new moon on it, a real new moon this time in Aries. So that will be interesting to look at too. And that's towards the end of Aries because on the 20th, the sun moves into Taurus. And Taurus season is always so beautiful. So I'm quite excited about that actually. That everything's starting to warm up and lots of flowers and things. So lovely. And then on the 24th of April, we've got Venus moving into Gemini. Lots more discussion, more sociable. And then the big news actually this month, the really big news is that on the 26th, Uranus is moving into Gemini as well, and we'll be discussing that fully at the end of towards the end of the video. So that's definitely something to hang on for.
And in any case, for the Uranus in re-entering into Gemini, I mean, we will put it in the description part of this video, because Alison and we have discussed it really thoroughly last year when Uranus went into
Yes.
Gemini for the first time. All the 12 houses covered, so you will find, I mean, can get a general idea what Uranus moving into re-entering into Gemini may mean personally for you. So
Yeah.
that will be, you can find that also video in the description so that you can recheck and then see what's going on.
Yeah, good point. Good point. So, if I share the screen and we can get the full moon up, that would be good.
Yeah, of course,
That's the
of
one.
course.
That's not the full moon. That is Uranus into.
Mm.
That's the new.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there we are. That's the full moon that we've got there across Aries and Libra.
Mm-hmm.
So a moon in Libra can be indecisive, of course, but it's very much, isn't it, about making relationships, this moon, I feel. This is very much where we are with this. I mean, on personal and global levels, it's about making alliances here and trying
Yeah.
to get what we want within those alliances.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, we have this, I think, yeah, that the square with the Jupiter in Cancer. In
Yeah,
that sense, I think it's a bit conflict because you are trying to create some harmony, but it's like there is, I think, that part that is about your tribe, where you come from at the end of the day. I mean, Indian moon is
yeah,
dispositing that Jupiter in Cancer. So I think there is kind of dilemma, like how much do I mean, whatever that I'm trying to this, whatever compromise I'm doing, how
yeah.
much do I have to involve my past and whatever my land, my family, my tribe, etc.
Hmm.
And how much do I have to care about the rest of the people,
Yes.
and also how much it's about me, because there is this sun in Aries. It's saying like, okay, hello. I mean, it's like I'm also here, so it's kind of a bit of pull and push, but in a
Hmm.
different way, because we would like to involve other people. We would like to, I mean, in the end, make sure that everyone is fine. No, everyone is good. I mean, but sometimes it's like we also ask like, I want to be good, but I also want that my family is good, my
Yeah,
tribe is good. I mean,
absolutely.
I think it's all this good intent, and the dilemma is all within this full moon in Libra.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because Jupiter in Cancer, Cancer is a very self-protective sign, isn't it? And in the end, people do want to first assure that their families are okay, that it's kind of battening down a little bit. So within those alliances and the discussions and everything and the relationships, there's very much a sense of looking after the people that you're closest to and the things you're closest to. I think it's interesting here that Venus in Taurus, so I mean, in rulership in Taurus, so very strong. Venus is strong here in Taurus and ruling that full moon. So it just goes to show that land and finances and all our resources, in fact, our material resources, which have really been sort of highlighted as this current conflict has continued are involved in these negotiations and are at the heart of them on a personal level as well as a global level, I think, really. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like, I mean, that since moon is in Libra, that it's like that need for creating that harmony or balance, or it's like
Hmm.
also it's diplomacy, right? No, that
Sure.
you
Yeah.
need that diplomacy, and I think it's being there in this chart, at least at the top, etc. Also in the ninth house, at least in the France chart. So it feels like that it may have a good impact. I mean, like that kind of a resolution. I mean, it's like,
Yeah, I
because
think
it's
that's
also
true.
Libra is about agreements, contracts, etc. So I
Yeah,
think it could be
definitely.
something like shining there, illuminating
Yeah.
whatever that wasn't illuminated before. I think in the end it could be really nice. I mean,
And of course, Mercury is trining that Jupiter, so I think that's very positive as well. It's that's important to look to. And a full moon, it's the culmination of this cycle. So, things are falling away and other things are becoming illuminated as then you move into the second half of the cycle, where you start to put that into practice or you disseminate what you've actually achieved. So this is the harvest moment for this actual cycle. Yeah, I do like that Mercury Jupiter trine actually, and it completes the next day, so it's almost there. It's just kind of on the cusp of completing, so I think that's really nice. It,
yeah,
it sort of
yeah,
suggests some kind of accord again, doesn't it? Some
yeah,
kind of agreement.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. Also, I mean, they're all, I mean, water signs, so there's I think, a kind of
yeah,
the compassion is there, and also trying to, I mean, make space for other people as well. I mean, whether it's our
yeah,
tribe, whether it's the collective, it's, I think, making space for everyone. I think in that sense, I think it's nice at the end of the day.
Good. Well, good. We're very positive on that one. Have to be positive. There's always
Yeah,
hope.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
there definitely is. So, so then we move on. And the
To
next
ninth.
big, yeah, the next big thing, I'm going to shuffle this forward actually so that we can just see how that does move forward. Yeah, and we've got Mars down here, which is the one to watch because it's about to move into Aries. And there we've got Mars in rulership, Mars and Venus in rulership, with Jupiter still very strong in Cancer. So that's also good. Um, Hope and faith, strong in community and tribe and emotion. So that's nice. And the past, of course. So Mars, yeah, coming in, as I said in our short introduction, to start to kick off these planets that had that conjunction, the Neptune and the Saturn just down there earlier in the year in February. And now these planets are moving forward and kind of sparking them into something. Now, Mars in Aries, well, I was going to say it doesn't take prisoners, but it pretty much does take prisoners actually, and and it shoots bullets and everything else really. But perhaps, just perhaps, that full moon that occurred has, put something in place that's going to restrain it and make it a little bit more positive in its individualism. She says, hopefully. What do you think, Terry? I mean, it's going to crash into Neptune there, which will always be confusing. I mean, Neptune's always about dreams. It kind of dissipates, but sometimes it also can expand things because Neptune's just obviously a big ball of gas, and sometimes things just have no boundaries when they crash into Neptune. So that's a slightly perturbing thought.
Yeah,
But
but at the end of the day, it's the Mercury is already, I mean, out of the shadow period as well, so it's
true.
safe there, it's safe there. And I think Mars in Aries, I mean, it's like, I mean, it can go south or it can go north at the
Yes.
end of the day because it's a lot of actually power there. It's like
Yeah.
bravery and everything comes together. The energy and the drive. It's like go, 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 go. After especially being in Pisces and getting into Aries, it's like getting out of that water. And now we are full on. I mean, that could, I mean,
Hmm.
like, of course, conjoining Neptune, as you mentioned, I mean, no boundaries. So no boundaries. What can happen with that? But also it can be a nice fueling way of our dreams. I mean, at the end of the day,
Sure.
now Neptune and both Neptune and Saturn are settling in Aries in a way.
Hmm.
After re-entering into that, and I think it can be sometimes we need that courage. I mean, we could have all these dreams in our mind, all these images coming through for ourselves, etc. But maybe sometimes we need that push. Someone needs to push us. I mean, and make us like, in a way, focused, concentrated on what we are doing. And I think Mars could be, in that sense, a positive impact as long as it doesn't get impatient and it's like like this
I
and
think
then
that's a really nice
yeah,
interpretation, actually. The idea of it sort of the needing the courage to fulfill your dreams, actually. I think that's a really nice interpretation of that Mars with Neptune in Aries, actually. The courage on a personal level to go forward and do what you've always wanted to do. And we've been saying about beginnings and endings for a few months now, and that's kind of been a theme since last year, really, or even before with all these big changes in the skies. But yes, I think that's a really nice interpretation of it. And then as it moves through to Saturn, which it's going to in just a few days' time, a few days after that, then there's the reality check. Can I really make this happen? Am I going to get bored and give up? Am I going to just or actually can we create something here that's solid and will will last and withstand the material reality, of the world that actually stands up in the world. I think that's really nice.
Yeah,
So on a personal level, let's hope this could be actually really positive. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Especially as you say, with Mercury now moving out of the shadow. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think
Good.
yeah, that I think yeah, communication will be intact, and
Yes.
whatever any creative ideas also. If you think that I mean like Mercury in Pisces, you can be talking about some uh, creative ideas that they were waiting
Hmm.
on hold for a while, etc., that you are not being able to put on. And I think Mars in Aries and Mercury completely out of the shadow, it can be a good period like to move on from there as well.
Yeah, thanks, Terry. I really like that version of it. Yeah, that interpretation. So we'll just go forward slowly, and you can see Mars, not the quickest of planets, of course, but going through now. So joining with Neptune, actually around the 13th of April, and then moving through towards Saturn. But meanwhile, we've got Mercury here, which is moving into Aries as well. So the stellium that moved through Capricorn and then Pisces, and of course it's got Mars with it. Mars is only with it every other year, this stellium, because Mars takes 2 years to go around the sun. So this year we've got Mars as part of the stellium, and they're all moving forward through through Aries now. So that's interesting. And Mercury in Aries is pretty direct. I mean, Mercury in Aries says what it thinks, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there is no going around. It's like that's what
And
it is. Yeah.
and that can be positive, can't it? I mean, when Mercury's in Pisces, it can be super creative, but I always feel with Mercury in Pisces, truth is a bit relative. It sees so many different sides to everything that it can find it quite hard to focus and pin down and say, right, yeah, okay, this is what I think. Because it thinks so many different things all the time and at the same time. So I
Yeah,
think Mercury in Aries, you'll get the truth, and it's much more direct. So that will be interesting, I think, to see how that pans out. Although it does again move immediately into Neptune, which will blur the boundaries a little bit, but still, I think it can be positive actually after all the Pisces energy.
yeah, it's like lots of my way, highway energy at the moment.
Well, that is true. Yes, yes, that is of course very true. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay, we've got the sun crashing into Chiron there, which can be difficult sometimes if you have got planets around there. So 26 Aries, that's something to perhaps look out for.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and then we move on to the new moon,
New moon,
and
yeah,
that's on the 17th. I'm going to move forward because I like to just show how all this is coming together. Because as we move into the new moon, oops, I went too far there. On the 17th, Mars is just moving towards Saturn now. I've got an actual chart for the new moon. Let me find that. And it's right down the bottom. No, I do not have it. Yes, I do have it.
yeah, yeah. That's
It is that
yes,
one.
I think that's
No, it's not that one. Sorry,
1352.
I'm
I think that's the one. I think, yeah,
there we are. Yeah,
yeah,
new moon in
26
in
energy.
Aries at sort of 27 degrees Aries. So if you've got anything at that point in your chart, angles or planets, personal planets, this could be important. And it's always worth checking where that falls in your chart, the houses of the chart. Do we still put the houses of the chart up on the blurb? We probably should go back to doing that actually. I think it's useful for people to
Yeah,
check out.
I think I
We
can,
we
yeah,
did do that.
I can put it in the description again so that the people can
Yeah, because we used to have a
exactly.
list up, didn't we, for the
Yeah,
blurb?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
exactly.
that's quite helpful and you can find your chart anywhere, sort of online, astro.com, something like that, and check out where this new moon falls. So again, it's towards the end of the sign, but it's kind of creeping backwards, isn't it, a little bit? It's not quite so far to the end. And we have this huge lineup in Aries now. So
Yeah.
that's in itself quite
It's
interesting.
It's like as if like when you are looking like you have like two stelliums, but they
Yes.
are two Aries stelliums. I mean, like they won't be. I mean, there is too much between Saturn and the other ones. I mean, so you
Yeah.
cannot say that. But they're like it's like all fire. It's like there's thank God there's Venus in Taurus,
Yes.
Jupiter in the Cancer,
Yeah.
but except that where is the air? We don't have air. I mean here. I mean literally there is no air. I mean
No, there's nowhere.
so
Yeah, it looks quite sort of hot, doesn't it? Hot and um fiery. Yeah, there's not really another way to put it. So, but of course, a new moon is the start of something. So new initiatives. I mean, this is the start of something in a cardinal sign, a cardinal fire sign. So it's going to be about really kind of starting something with a bang, potentially.
yeah. Yeah.
And it's ruled, of course, by Mars, which is also in Aries. So, um, and all these planets in this fiery, this is what I want kind of sign. But we still have Jupiter in Cancer. It's a bit of a loose cannon. It's not making any aspects there, but it's there
Yeah.
and it's involved and it's part of our skies. So it's still asking us, okay, but what about our family? What about our past? What about the people that we love? And Venus is in Taurus, of course, just saying to itself, and the planet, our resources, our material world, how is that fitting into all of this just forward marching energy, which is what looks like. I mean, things are just going very quickly here, aren't they? Let's be honest. Whatever it is that's happening, it's moving, it's doing it fast,
Yeah.
is what it
It's
looks like to me.
it's very fast. I mean it's interesting to see that Chiron that is hand in hand with the luminaries at the end of the day. I mean, it's like
That's
um,
true.
Chiron is like I think we have to understand what Chiron is role here. I mean, it's not like I wonder if it's not about wounded healer, but it's more like it could be because it's also in between these two stelliums and the new moon and the rest. I mean, I think it could be also the kind of bridge because this new moon is like towards the end of the sign again,
Hmm.
it's like trying to finish something, etc. So it's like in a way as if Chiron is like whatever is resolved through Chiron is like bridging between all those cluster of areas there and this new moon cluster here. So I think that could be something um, like a I won't say glue, but something that is like that more like a resolution than like a healer or something like that. I think it's really like the key there. But
Okay.
really, yeah, I mean, like, the key, like itself, I mean, what is
Like
it?
its symbol. Hmm.
Yeah, like a symbol. I mean, it's like key to maybe combine both sides of this two stelliums, etc., and make something meaningful out of them, molding them together. I think it's really interesting what Chiron is doing there.
I wonder if
What do you
it's
say?
also just,
What?
yeah, no, I think that's great. And I think it's also just reminding us that we're human as well, and that we need to take that into account when we're making these new plans and things. Basically, yeah, I mean, because Chiron can be very much about being a human and about the frailty of humanity too, which needs to be considered, I think. We're not the immortals, actually.
Yeah,
So
exactly, exactly,
I
exactly.
think it's interesting, actually. It'll be interesting to see what does play out on this new moon here.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and what it seeds, in fact, what it seeds going forwards for everybody and globally.
yeah, exactly, exactly. It's like, yeah, that also Mars is like dispositing all the sky, Mars in Aries.
Mm,
That
yeah,
is like very. specific energy that has to be also taken into consideration at the end of the day. I mean, it's like Mars in Aries. I mean, like I was all the time writing in the new moon who is making the Saturn make the talking. Jupiter here is like Mars is making the real talk. Mars is saying like, okay, everyone has to follow my way, no
Yeah.
way out. It's a feeling like that, and I mean that's that's all about it. Mars, Mars in Aries.
And the thing is, of course, with a lot of fire energy, of course, it can burn out. These cardinal signs, especially Aries, really enthusiastic, charging into something. Is the substance there? And the substance is Venus. So is that going to the connection there? This little red line is a little bit awkward. But Venus is strong, so hopefully the connection, the substance is there, and whatever it is that, individually we're initiating on this new moon, has the possibility to move forwards and yeah, to actually grow into
I think
something.
it is really important that I mean like since it's a very cardinal um, chart. I mean, except the Venus in a fixed sign,
Hmm.
and also that we don't have the also air. So I think
Yeah.
it would be very important that it's not like we go with like it's like it looks fine like without jumping. It's like we have to really put our thinking process into
Yeah.
the thing, and we don't like that's the way we
Mhm.
march to that way, because I think that since we don't have that mutable energy, uh,
Mm.
we have to make sure that we keep at that shifting. I mean, if necessary, I mean, like if this way doesn't go, there's a dead end. We have to know that we have to reverse and go to the other direction. I think we have to
That's true.
make ourselves ready that that way may not be the way. So I mean, like that we don't get in a way the, that they get upset. I mean, because or frustrated because it's not
Hmm.
going. I mean, and I think that we have to convince ourselves that okay, that looks like a good way. Okay, we that's the direct way. But if things happen, we have to find a way to shift to make that change and everything so that the plan still somehow works.
Yeah, I see what you mean. So all this cardinal energy is moving forwards, and it's not leaving any room for maneuver or adaptation or anything like that. So in the end, if it doesn't work, it's all going to have to reverse backwards and yeah, sort of turn a corner almost. Just find a completely different way of going forwards. That is, yeah, that's a good point actually. There's not It's not leaving itself any options. It's made a decision here, hasn't it? Whatever it is, it's like, okay, there's no options left. This is it. This is where we're going. This has to work. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
If not, we're in trouble.
exactly.
Mm.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good, and that's a really interesting way of looking at it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and so after that, we get the sun moving into Taurus. So we leave some of this. And thank goodness, eh? Leave some of this super speedy cardinal energy behind, and the sun moves into Taurus, where it immediately makes that square to Pluto, which is always a little bit complicated. Um, but never mind, the sun in Taurus, it's in terms of the planet, this is the sign, isn't it? At least in the Northern Hemisphere, it's just so beautiful. Everything's in blossom and sort of just spring has sprung and the weather's warming up. It's lovely. Yeah, love Taurus season.
Yeah, it's nice. It's that nice transition because with the Aries, I mean, you are still just out of the fish and out of the at least in northern hemisphere from that winter, and then it's still like a kind of yeah, you see the still the buds and everything, but the spring is not there. But
It's
Taurus is like a fixed sign, and then all the nature and everything you see that yeah, now it's spring because the weather and also the nature, they all reflect that spring into your, I mean, like
Yeah,
waves
no, I think
really. I
that's
mean,
right.
like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, it's sort of struggling, isn't it? In a way, it struggles. Aries, it's pushing, it's struggling, it's really fighting its way forward. But by the time you get to Taurus, it's done it. This is Venus sign, and Venus is still there in Taurus, so that's really nice. They're co-present. Um, I actually am just going to skip back a couple of days because I think we didn't notice that the day before we've got the Mars Saturn conjunction. And actually, that's not always, I think Mars Saturn conjunctions can be really difficult, actually. It gives the impression of somebody trying to push through a blockage, and it's either yes, this works, or no, this doesn't. So it's a real fail or succeed moment, I feel. So that's on the 19th. I think that's just worth a note, actually.
yeah,
Needs
thank you.
stamina,
Yeah,
Mars Saturn. So yeah.
yeah.
So
Yes,
just
yeah, that can be, if there's any blockage, let's not get frustrated. I think
yeah,
in a way, I mean,
exactly.
it's very, I mean, like, could be something very literal that is
Mm,
happening with our heart, or it can be, I mean, like, its head. I mean, like, you sometimes feel like there could be very bad weather or something like that, and you can have a very bad headache also. I mean, it could be literal reflection of that, because you feel like, oh my God, my brain is like going to explode. Something is like pushing, really, like a migraine or something like that.
yeah.
And it's like, it could happen. I mean, it's like, I think, because think of this, I mean, like, you are forcing something to
Hmm.
go, and the other one is like blocking, and can you imagine the tension that can happen there? And I think it's like something that I think at least we need to try in that day, like, if it's not going, just leave it for a while, because it will
Mm,
pass. I mean, it's like,
true.
because, yeah, it's like, sometimes it's like, because, yeah, you force, doesn't go. Okay, there's a message there. Okay, just
Mm,
leave it to rest.
mm.
I mean, like, make something else, and make sure that, because also sun is in the last degree of analytic degree of Aries, etc., things will change
Yes,
end of the day.
true.
Things
Yeah,
are
that's what those
changing.
last three say.
So just I think, just don't push it.
I've realized I've
It's
signed up for a
possible.
long walk that day, actually,
Yeah, yeah, could be very nice.
which I'm hoping the weather isn't going to be horrible. But yeah, that will require some stamina. It's the first I've done for a while, so
Yeah.
yeah, that will be for me at least. That will be
Yeah,
quite challenging.
channeling that energy to something else. I mean, it's like, yeah, you know
Mm,
that Mars in Aries, you have a lot of energy, so go for a long walk. It's nice. It's also, I mean, if the weather is good, it can just help you to open your brain. And Moon in
mm.
Taurus, like, make that peace with the nature and everything. So it can be a nice day
But I
for
think I
that.
think that's really true, actually, that you can have a lot of, especially if that's in a natal chart, it can mean a lot of stamina, Mars and Saturn together, in whatever sign. And the kind of stamina it has, like will sort of show up in the sign that it's in. But I think, yeah, I think that's interesting too. Yeah, good. Okay, so that's that. And Mercury, of course, is there with them, and Mercury is going to Saturn as well. So we've got similar themes, thinking about things, trying to get things sort of going, I suppose. Yeah. And yeah, we've kind of said about the Sun in Taurus and about resources. It's very much about resources, actually, and Taurus is about our finances. So that will be interesting and will be worth considering. It's a good time to have a look at finances and to see where you're at. It's a time for doing taxes possibly and things like that too. I don't know whether, certainly in France anyway.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, also in England, I mean, I
yeah.
think after the 5th of, I mean, in UK, after the 5th of April, the new tax year starts, etc. And
Mm-hmm.
I think all those self-assessments, etc., things are being
Yeah, so there's
handed,
the
etc.
question.
Yeah,
How much money have we got? I mean,
yeah,
that's right. What have we got this year? What are our resources? And that in a way is what Taurus is asking us.
Also, I mean,
Yeah,
I think that during the what is going on in the world, I mean, like the finances got shaken, especially if you had
absolutely.
investments, etc., that are all like that. And now it's like a calmer period to see with calm head what is going on, what can be done, and what is our loss, what is our gain, etc., to
Yes.
find that all that
Yeah.
thing. And it's a good period, yeah, to review I think the financial situation as well.
Hmm. Good. Okay. And then, so then we're moving on to the 24th when Venus leaves Taurus, which is always a little bit sad. But moving through Uranus, so that could be eclectic or something new coming in terms of relationships. It's always, or in Venus, in
Also,
Taurus, it could be.
it's a direct. I mean, I think. Sorry, I cut your word, but
No, that's
I
fine.
sometimes forget the thing because it's like they are just leaving, but they are making that conjunction. It's interesting when you said finances because it's like it can be unexpected source of income also coming your
Yes.
way. I mean, it's like a surprise thing. I mean, like that you can have a change. I mean, hopefully for good in your finances, I mean,
Yeah.
etc. Because it's like Taurus. I mean, you never know.
Yeah, absolutely. And it can be about friends, relationships, with Venus as well. It can be about your values. It could be just a change in your material circumstances. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's what you said, really, finances, Terry.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so that's interesting. And it's right on that last degree of Taurus, which is always important. We've said it several times, that conjunction. So anything when it's on the anaretic degree, I mean, Uranus is here on the anaretic degree of Taurus, so it's going to be increasing the instability of land and finance, perhaps just before it moves into Gemini. And there it's, with Venus, it's just kind of I'm thinking of kind of like a mini sort of explosion right now, so that things come together and something actually happens and comes out of it.
And
So it's
also, if you
interesting.
think about the Uranus, because this Uranus has been there before. It's like,
That's
I mean,
true. Yes, good point.
it went into Gemini
Yeah.
in July 2007, July 2025. So a few days before that, Uranus was around this point there.
Yeah.
So if you are thinking about that period, July 2025, end of June, more or
Yeah.
less, and thinking about like kind of changes that is like more Taurus. I mean, like
Hmm.
the land, it can be finances, it can be directly because Taurus is ruled by Venus. We have to see where Venus was that time, but it's like it can be
Mm.
about like material resources or anything where you were, then it went back, and now it's going forward, and
Yeah.
it's like a reconciliation of what was happening in that period in a certain area
Yes.
of life. I think we can think about it like that as well.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So these planets, when they go retrograde, and they're often picking up the same themes, aren't they, when they go over a point? So yes, that's right. Yeah, it was back at 29 degrees of Gemini, Taurus, sorry, June, end of June, beginning of July last year, and then um, so what was happening around then, and now it's coming back, and this is the final pass. I mean, it's going to move now
Yeah,
into Gemini, so Uranus.
that's
So,
it.
and this is the 23rd of April, by the way, if you're on the podcast, if you're listening on the podcast. And and then it's going to move on definitively. So whatever happens here with Venus together, and I think this could be significant actually, is actually the end of that story probably, and it's moving on to a new chapter, to something else. There'll be different sort of ramifications of whatever is happening. So yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, I think it's always really interesting to look at the three passes of the outer planets, especially as they go through.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Saturn too. So great. Yeah, so that's the last degree of Taurus, and then Venus the next day moves into Gemini. where she's
Yay, air is in the
Aries in the chart. That's true.
air.
Much more sociable. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sociable,
Peki.
but less stable, of course. Much more fickle. Venus in Gemini in a chart likes to be entertained, I think. It likes lots of different things going on, really. So that in itself is quite interesting. But yes, air, talking to people, news, finding out about things. And it's in that nice trine relationship to Pluto now. So there's a lot of power behind that Venus for the first few days that it moves into Gemini. And
Yeah,
now
it's
it's
also it's also nice because I mean at the end of the day, Aquarius is very, I mean, it's not like social in the way that we understand, but it's about society at the end of the day. And
yeah,
in
networks,
Gemini, it's
absolutely.
like, yeah, exactly, network, and it's positive, a network that can also bring some kind of power or some kind of change or transformation in a positive way. I mean, I think it's really nice to see that trine, and when it actually executes, probably in a few days' time, that would be the
Yeah, I
time
can
that
just move forward to
you
have a look
see,
at that. Ah, but by the time it's
yeah,
exact, of course, we've got, yeah. So
Uranus
it
already
becomes
has moved
exact on
in,
the 28th. I will move back because we need to
and
talk
there is a
about.
grand trine there. That it's good
Yeah.
to see that as well. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, no, I didn't. We'll look at that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm. It's a change of the way we're thinking as well, isn't it? I know Mercury is about thought, but I think every time something, I mean, this is about our values, Venus. And I think there's something about freedom here as well, actually, and communication and it just seems a little bit freer and a little bit less. I mean, all the Aries is so intent on, pushing forward and doing its thing. And then Taurus is like, no, this is mine. Um, Jupiter's thinking about family and, the past and that kind of thing. And then Venus in Gemini doesn't care. Excuse me. It's just about relationship and about talking to people. It's
Yeah, it's
nice.
nice. It's nice. And on the 22nd, 6th, I mean, the Uranus will re-enter into Gemini for good. So
Yeah.
whatever we need to wrap up, let's wrap it up because
Yeah.
that's the final moments, and then voila. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. So there we are. Yeah, it's moved into Gemini and it's starting to create this lovely sort of trine and the cradle that is going to be present throughout 2026 and really I think comes to it gets really close, I think, around June, July, when in 2026, when everything's about 4 degrees, we've got
Yeah.
Uranus and Neptune and Pluto as well, as Pluto will be going retrograde then. In fact, Pluto goes retrograde quite soon after this chart.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now it's ruled by Mercury in. So this is the chart, isn't it? Again, of Uranus definitively entering into Gemini. I can move it back a few hours potentially. I might actually have the actual
It is
moment.
1:52, 2:52 in the morning,
Yeah,
I
I
think.
did
Yeah.
actually prepare the chart. Well done, me,
Yeah.
look. You're
Yeah.
surprised.
Yeah.
I'm quite
Yeah.
surprised. Yeah,
Uranus.
so here it is. Yeah. So the chart we have the moon in that energetic degree of Leo. It's the
No,
moon.
but
It's
this
not
is
such a big
still
deal.
29:59 Uranus.
Oh gosh, let's move that forward.
I think 1 minute is enough, I think, because I think 52 it shows in, yeah, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's basically was it's square the moon, although the square will actually complete when it's in Leo, won't it? So when it's in Virgo, sorry. So that's not actually quite a square yet.
No,
But it's together with
that's fine.
Venus. So
Again,
interesting. Again, yes, Venus and Uranus together in Gemini. So again, we're talking about these relationships and values, and this is very much about freedom and this change in mindset that Terry and I spoke about so much when we looked at it last year. Just changing the way that we think about things and the way potentially as it moves through Gemini that we can communicate. It'll take 7 years to go through Gemini. Um, the sun is in Taurus, so that's quite nice. There's a sense of stability there, I think. It's quite a nicely well-balanced chart, actually, because we've still got those planets in Aries, maybe a little bit too many still in Aries. Um, but Mars there, of course, still with Mercury. But we also have Jupiter in Cancer, so we've got water, the water element as well.
Yeah, I
So,
think it's in a way, I mean, when you think about the Uranus and Venus, this time from different perspective, when it is in Gemini, it's also, I mean, the moment that we start seeing things in a different way or think about things in a different way, then
mhm,
also, of course, it affects how we relate to other people or how we value things, because it's like you are shifting here, which is a shift, and we will see a lot of shift, I think, because Mercury, dispositing Mercury, moving
mhm,
fast, 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 fast as the dispositor of Uranus in Gemini. It's like we may see like lots of shifts and changes in the way that we look at things and maybe observe them, and then also how we express them, I mean, verbally, in a way. And that will, at the beginning at least, will, in a way, whether we like it or not,
mhm.
affect the way that how we
How we relate to people.
how we relate to people, how we build these relationships with other people as well, I mean.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, how we build the relationships. That's very true, actually. Yes. Yep. I'm just sort of pondering that for a minute. Yeah, and a change of mindset. Sort of, it does feel like it could be quite welcome, doesn't it? And these outer planets working together potentially to create something to help us as people on this planet to create something more positive. That would be certainly good. I mean, people have talked a lot about Uranus moving into Gemini and the sort of, AI and things, but we are seeing a bit of a kickback against social media and all those kinds of things, which maybe is to do with Neptune leaving Pisces too. As I think the Netherlands, back in March, they banned phones in schools, for instance. And I was listening at the time to some kids, some teenagers who were saying, well, actually, we don't miss it now. I mean, it was only a couple of days we missed it. And now we're actually sort of relating to each other in different ways. And so that's
Yeah,
interesting.
I think in Australia they did that, and also here in
Yeah,
Scotland they are campaigning a lot. At least, I mean, I think until
yeah.
they are high school age, etc., that the
Hmm.
children shouldn't be bringing. I mean, I can tell that as living, we survived. We didn't have phones. We had the
Yeah, we
talking
did.
phones and analog phones, etc. So we survived. Everyone can survive. So it's like everyone can reach their phones if they have any when they come back home, and during the day. I think it's a really good point. I mean, it's a different way of relating to each other, because normally it's like, you send your each other reels and this blah blah blah,
Hmm.
that's the communication. But now without them, you have to use your words and mind a bit more than normal, which is very nice, I think.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah. There is definitely a sense of enslavement sometimes to things like social media, I think,
Yeah.
which perhaps it can free us to use it more selectively. That would be good. I mean, if we can use it instead of just, being kind of bogged down in, the incessant scrolling, that would be really good. So on a personal level, then, different kinds of relationships on a global level, there's a different dialogue happening, isn't there? This is it. Things are moving on, and people are talking to each other a little bit more now, hopefully at this point.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that
really
would be
nice.
good.
Yeah, yeah, that, that is nice. And yeah, that would be like also the moon. will be moving into Virgo soon. That would be
Yeah.
squaring, but still, I think that when we are thinking, because Gemini can change ideas, and then also it's sometimes it's like, going down the rabbit holes. Too many ideas can come at the
Well,
same
that's
time.
for
Which one?
sure.
Wait, which one? Which one? That is nice. Ah, but this is nicer, etc. And then Virgo, I think Moon in Virgo will can a bit like say that, okay, we have to
Sort
be
it
a
all
bit
out.
look out. I mean, like, we have
Yeah.
to be practical. I mean, like, we cannot have it all, so we
Yeah.
find something that will settle us down, etc. And then let's finish. Let's pick a few ideas and see how we get on. I think it can be nice. I think the moment that the moon moves into the Virgo at this point, I think in a few
I
hours
think
time.
whatever it is, though, there's no stopping it because with Mercury still in Aries, then that's really sort of pushing ahead with it, isn't it? It's
Yeah, exactly.
interesting that it's there. I mean, there's no going back from this point, that's for sure.
Yeah,
With Mercury in
yeah,
Aries, it's
yeah,
right, we're going to do this. This is full on now.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Saturn in Aries, how much Saturn can stop that, but that's the dispositing the Pluto as well. Mars in Aries, that's
Hmm.
also, I mean, like, etc. So, I mean, like, yeah, move forward, but hopefully more in an efficient
Okay.
and practical way, hopefully.
Well, hopefully with Taurus, the sun in Taurus, hopefully.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
that's
the full moon will be on the 1st of May. So we won't move on to that because that will be next month. It's going to fall at 11 degrees of Taurus. The full moon, a lovely full moon in Taurus, actually. It's always
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
It's
And we
very
will
happy
have
in Taurus,
a
very strong.
great interview that is coming up. Who is it? Would you like to say that
Oh, with Sue,
our
yes,
yes,
fantastic. So
yeah,
yes, we're going to have an interview with Sue Brain that will be out in the middle of April, and we had a fantastic chat. Actually, we did
yeah,
recently
yeah,
just talk to her. We're going to share that with you in April. Um, yeah, lovely. I'm sure you'll want to tune in actually to Sue because she's always interesting. She's got lots of
yeah,
ideas, lot to
yeah,
say.
yeah, yeah. Lots of things to say, and it was really interesting chat. I think to pick up her brains in a way about different subjects, etc. It was
Definitely. Yeah, it's always
yeah, yeah,
interesting
yeah, yeah, yeah,
to
yeah,
find out what she
exactly.
thinks.
Yeah, I think so. That would be that for
Yeah,
us for
so we
the
can wrap
April
up there.
2026. And please tune in if you have any comments or anything. Please, you can always leave in the comment section. We always answer as soon as
Yes.
we see the comments. And so
And click subscribe
that's
if you've
us.
caught us. That's always good too. We have to say that. We
Yeah,
probably should have said
exactly.
it earlier.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So all the best. See you later,
Yeah,
everyone.
see you.
Bye.
Bye, Terry. See you next
Bye.
next month.
Bye. Bye.